Welcome to In Progress, a podcast to help you grow and learn how to become a better version of yourself. Now here's your host, Michael Sirigliano.
Welcome everybody to another episode of In Progress. I'm your host, Michael Sirigliano. Now, you probably clicked on this video because, she cheated on you, she left you, she broke your heart, something like that, right? And now you don't really know how to go on because all women are trash, women suck, women are promiscuous, or whatever, right? So you're thinking that it's her fault and you did nothing wrong. You were an amazing guy. You were so nice. You were giving her everything. You were doing everything in your power to make her happy, and she still just, cheated on you, or she left, or whatever. She's with another guy now. So now you're just sitting there heartbroken and wondering, how can she do that to you? Well, I'm here to tell you that she did it to you because of you. It's your fault that she did it. And that's kind of tough to hear, right? When you're sitting there grieving, mourning the loss of a relationship, the last thing you want to hear is, oh, and by the way, it's your fault. But on this podcast, we're trying to grow. So the last thing that I want you to do is sit there and think it's her fault that all happened. As a man, you need to take accountability for your actions. And the accountability that you need to understand, the part of it that is your fault, is, probably the majority of it. So let's think about why. Why would she possibly cheat on you or leave you or break your heart, right? Well, here's one reason why it could be your fault, right? You found a girl who maybe she has a lot of guy friends, and she, when you met her, was running around, sleeping with different guys, dating different guys, showing herself off on social media, doing all of the things that are majority of the time red flags, right? So you saw that, and you thought to yourself, what would be a great idea? To try and make this girl, who is very obviously in her party phase in her life, or very obviously uninterested in an actual relationship, I think I should try and get her to be monogamous to just me. Because she's hot. So because she's hot, I'm going to overlook all of the red flags that normally I would look at and say, absolutely not. Or if my friends ask me, hey, this girl that I'm talking to does X, Y, and Z, should I continue to pursue her? You would tell them no. But for some reason you saw that and said, that's a great choice to be my girlfriend, my future wife, the future mother to my children. So that's your fault, right? You tried to tame a woman who was not ready. Because at the end of the day, a woman who is ready to be in a relationship will be, majority of the time, the perfect significant other. And if she's not, then she won't. She might be interested in the relationship initially. She might be interested in the idea of being monogamous. But at the end of the day, the activities that a single woman can do are different than the activities that a girl in a relationship can do, typically, right? So you had no business seeing the way that this girl moved and saying to yourself, that is going to be the girl that I try to lock down. That's a girl that's going to be good to me. She's going to take care of me. She's going to be the perfect girlfriend. That's your fault. You saw a bunch of red flags and then you thought to yourself, that's the one. That's just stupidity. You can't think like that. And a lot of guys do because of this whole, I want other guys to see my girl and be jealous. And yeah, that's completely fine, right? You should have a girl that you're proud of. You should have a girl that when she's on your arm, you can walk around and other guys look and be like, oh, damn, she, that's a bad girl on his arm. But you don't want to be the guy walking around with a girl on his arm where the guys look and say, oh, she's bad and I've also fucked her. Or, oh, she's bad. I know like 5 guys that, ran a train on her. And so you need to be able to have some discernment and think to yourself, okay, is this a woman that I really want to lock down? And if all of those traits are existent in this girl, she's not ready to be locked down yet. So you have no business trying to make this girl monogamous because she is not interested in that yet. When she gets older, maybe, or when something else changes in her life, maybe, when her family life changes, maybe. But if you see a girl that is looking for attention from everybody, then that is not a girl for you to lock down. That is a girl that is trying to experience life, have a fun time, and she has the right to do that. As a guy, you also have the right to do that. You have the right as a man to go and sleep around if you want to do that. You have the right to do whatever it is you want to do. And so does she. So you can't sit there and be mad at her for doing what she did when you met her, because she didn't change. You tried to change her, but she didn't change. So instead of trying to take on a task, trying to change a girl to be what you want her to be, you find a girl that exemplifies what it is that you want in a woman. And then from there, you move and you start moving towards monogamy. You start moving towards dating and being exclusive. But initially, if she's showing all these signs, you can't sit there and be like, that's the girl for me. Now, the other side of the coin, which is a lot more prevalent and it happens a lot more than the first example, in my opinion. If the first example happens, you just made a mistake, you picked the wrong girl, fuck it, deal with it, get over it, learn from your mistakes. That's it. You learn from your mistakes, that's it. But the second reason why she broke your heart is because you changed, right? So what does that mean, you changed? You didn't change, right? You don't think you changed. You did everything for her. You showed her what a great man can be. You showed her what the perfect man is for her. But you changed. How did you change, right? So for starters, when you start talking to a woman, typically you're not 1,000% invested, so you don't give her 1,000% of your effort. You don't give her attention all the time. You have options. You have abundance. And when you have abundance, you portray that you have abundance, whether it's purposely or not. So when you have this abundance and she sees that other women want you, or you have other options, there's an aura you give off where it's something where it's like, oh, this man is proven to be a man women want, so I want him as well. Men don't have that same thing in them where we want a girl that all the guys want. Well, kind of, but not really. Not to the same extent. So when you first started talking to her, that was you. You had abundance. You had all these options. And then when it became time to be monogamous, you got rid of all the options. You stopped talking to everyone, which rightfully so. Rightfully so. I am not here to condone infidelity at all. But you cannot then focus all of your attention on her, because as I've said a million times already in this podcast, you need to be working on yourself and your future. So if you are on a path of success, and if you are working towards a successful future, your time is still very limited. Your free time is extremely limited. So you sit around and do nothing. Well, of course she's not going to want to be with you. You're a fucking bum, right? But if you're going to the gym, if you're working hard at your job, if you're working hard for your own business, if you're working hard towards your future business, future endeavors, then you don't have a lot of free time. Your time is taken up, which in turn shows that you have something going for you. And women like a man who has something going for him, right? Because in order for a woman to be submissive, which is what every guy wants, a submissive girl, you have to be a masculine man. You can't be a bitch and then expect a woman to be like, oh yeah, that's the guy that I'm going to follow for the rest of my life. That's the man that's going to lead me and my children in the future. No, because that's just not a safe bet, right? if you're doing nothing with your life and you're sitting playing video games, watching TV, doing nothing at all, working a dead-end loser job, you think that a woman's going to sit there and be like, wow, that's somebody who can provide for me, my children, our family, our vacations, all? No, that's stupid. And she's not going to stick around for that. So you gave her way too much attention because you're too busy being a bum. You need to get on your shit. Because in a relationship, when you're with a woman, a lot of men, and I've seen it time and time again, men start off on their shit, going to the gym day in and day out, working as hard as possible, making as much money as possible, making sure that everything in their life is in order. And then they meet a girl, and the girl says, oh, I want to go out to eat. Can you skip the gym? And they go, yeah, of course I can skip the gym. And then they do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until it becomes a habit. Instead of leaving work and going to the gym, you're leaving work and going home so you can get ready to go eat fast food. Now, that, to me, sounds like the worst possible transition in your life that you can make. But you, being the great guy that you are, thinks that that's the move. And I can understand why you would think that. Oh, my girl wants me to do something, I'm going to do it because I love her. Yeah, great. But you can't just be doing what she wants. You have to stay on your shit. Because who you are at the beginning, who you are when she meets you, that's who she's attracted to. That's who she likes. So when you turn around and stop going to the gym, stop working hard, stop putting as much effort in your other endeavors, stop making that money, she's going to sit there and say, this is not what I signed up for. This is not the guy that I fell for. This is a completely different guy. And if you in that state were to be out in the dating marketplace again, not one woman will look at you and say, that's the guy that I want. Not one. So why would you put yourself in that predicament? You need to stay on your shit. It is your fault that she chose to leave. Now maybe instead of cheating on you, she just became more masculine, more alpha, a bad bitch, right? Now, we all know women who are alpha or boss bitches or in charge, those real alpha female women, whatever they want to call themselves. We all know somebody like that. And what is the thing that they say all of the time? I'm willing to submit, but only to the right guy. Now, obviously, you probably don't want to entertain an alpha female who only submits to the right guy, but there's some truth to that statement. And she's not wrong when she says that, because that's how the majority of women are going to be, and rightfully so. Why the fuck would she submit to a man who has nothing going for him? To a man who has no drive, no ambition, no motivation, nothing at all? You as a man need to embody the protector and the provider. And if you're a lazy, lethargic bum who makes little to no money on a regular basis and prioritizes your girlfriend over your future, then you are neither a protector nor a provider. You're not capable of protecting because you're not in the gym. You're not training any type of fighting skill. You're not trying to get your health up to be able to fight possibly or run or look intimidating. You're doing nothing to make sure that you look like a protector. And then you're also not working on your future, so you're not fulfilling the provider role. So in a standard, typical, stereotypical relationship, the man is the head, the man is the leader, the woman is the follower, the woman is submissive. And every alpha female says the same thing: I only submit to the right man. So even they know, even the most the women who follow feminism, whatever the fuck feminist women, even the most feminist woman will say that, and they will submit, but they're just open about who they submit to. Whereas the non-feminist women, they're not open about, I will only submit to the right guy, but they will only submit to the right guy. You cannot be an an 80-pound, 90-pound, 100-pound stick who works at McDonald's part-time and lives in his mom's basement and think that you're going to find a woman of the quality that you want to sit there and follow you, because where the fuck is she going to follow you to? You have nothing going for you. You have nothing going on in your life. So why would she? So that's why I preach so hard that you need to be on your shit all the time. Because if you're on your shit, any woman, whether it's an alpha woman or an already submissive, feminine woman, will follow you and follow your lead. Because at the end of the day, men lead, women follow. Now, in a relationship, when you change or when you become more feminine, when you become more feminine, when you start giving into her wants, giving into her needs all of the time, taking time out of your day where you could be doing something that benefits you and your future, and you start giving that time to her, you're giving in. And when you give in, she is leading. Babe, I want to do this. You do it. Babe, I want to do this. You do it. Babe, I want to do this. You do it. You're following her lead. Babe, I want you to do this. And you do it. You're following her lead. And whether you know it or not, you are changing the dynamic of the relationship in the relationship itself. So, and the way that a relationship works always is going to be like, it's like a scale, right? You have 100% masculinity on this side, 100% femininity on this side. And every time you add a little femininity to your side, the masculine side, every time you add a little femininity to your side, she in turn has to add masculinity to hers to keep the relationship balanced and equal. Because though a relationship isn't 50-50 in effort, right? One day it can be 80-20, the other day 90-10, one day 50-50. The breakdown of masculinity and femininity is always going to be 50-50. Now, there are the one-off scenarios where, she's going to decide what you do for the day. Cool. That's pre-decided. That's going to happen. That's fine on your lead. But you can't be one of those guys where she controls where you go. She sets up the dates. She sets up the vacations. Then she's the man. And you know what she's going to do if she's in the power position where she's leading the household the entire time? She's going to find somebody who can lead her. So because you fell off your ship, because you're not doing what it is you did at the beginning of the relationship, she's going to find a better suitor. And she should do that. She should find somebody who is better for her than you. Because if you're not the best possible version of yourself, then you don't deserve her. Now, you need to obviously have discernment. Not every girl deserves you, but you need to make sure that you're on your shit so that you can have the girls that you want. And the girls that you want you. So you need to stay on your shit because of that. Because all the time when these relationships fail, when these marriages fail, it's because the woman is in charge. The woman has taken on a more masculine role in the relationship because over time the men start to wear out. They stop being that machismo guy. They stop being that masculine man. And the woman has to take control because that's just how it works. It's 50-50. So the more femininity you portray, the more masculinity she has to portray. So it's not her fault that she's more masculine now. It's not her fault that she stopped caring. It's your fault for becoming more feminine and making her do that. She doesn't want to do that. Even the most alpha female feminist women do not want to go home and be in charge of you. You're a grown fucking man. You need to be in charge of you. You need to be in charge of everything. You need to be in control. When she's with you, she should feel safe. And she should just be able to sit back and enjoy being around a man who's in control, a man who's got it. She should feel safe and happy with you. And your job as a man is to be logical, a protector, and a provider. And in turn, that allows her to be in her full feminine, where she can then just be happy and emotional and soft and nurturing to you. But when you're making her step up as the man in the relationship, you're not going to get that side. And when you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, I did X, Y, and Z for her and she's not even repaying me with anything. She's actually being worse. Well, yeah, you're doing what she's supposed to be doing. She would love nothing more than to follow your lead. She would love nothing more than to be in a relationship with the man she first met. But unfortunately, you've become more feminine over time. So you need to make it a point to where the person that you are today is who you are. So you need to get in the gym and start working on your businesses and your money and get everything in order so that when you meet that girl, you're not just putting up a front for the time being. You are that. You are the masculine man. And then in the relationship, you stay on your shit. You stay on it. If you have a business, you don't think she's going to want to sit there at night with you and, maybe you bounce ideas off of her for the business? She'd love that. You think that she wouldn't like to hear about your day, how you conquered the business, how you had this great sale, how you made so much money, how you did so great in the gym? You don't think she wants to hear about that? So with you being on your shit, it allows her to be where she is supposed to be, in her feminine. Any woman, even CEOs, talk about that. I watched an interview recently where a woman, she's a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and they were talking about femininity, masculinity, submissive women, submissive men, and all of that. And she said, verbatim, I am in charge all day long. I am making decisions all day long. When I come home to my man, the last thing that I want to do is be in charge and make decisions. I want to be able to sit back and have him make all the decisions. He could be in charge while I just sit there happily relaxed with him. You are the protector. You need to make her feel safe. And if you're not providing that entirely, she's going to find it elsewhere. And that is your fault, not her fault. All she's doing is making sure that her future is set up properly. So you should be doing the same thing. So if you focus on yourself and your future, then she can help you with that. But if she has to go and find somebody else to fill that role, that's because you're not able to. It's your fault. 100% your fault. Now, there's the guys out there, right? Like the MGKs, the people that, paint their fingernails, the men who portray effeminate features physically. The reason why those men are still successful with women, aside from the celebrity aspect of it, obviously that has a part to play, but even in your local town, effeminate men who paint their fingernails, who peacock and wear all these bright pink rainbow-colored clothing and this and that, the reason why they do well with women is because though they look effeminate and they peacock, they still portray masculine traits in their personality. They're still in charge. They're still what a woman wants. Just because he paints his fingernails doesn't mean he's not a man. Because Chuck Liddell paints his fingernails. And I promise you, any of you step up to Chuck Liddell, you get your ass beat. He's making a shit ton of money. He's on his shit, but he paints his fingernails. So the effeminate physical traits, the peacocking, works for them because they are masculine men still. So I'm not saying go out and paint your fingernails. I'm not saying go do all that peacocking shit. But what I am saying is, regardless of what it is you do, and regardless of what it is you look like, if you have your body on point, if you have your health on point, if you have your money on point, then she has no choice but to see you as a viable option for her future. Because her job on this earth is to make sure that her and her children are taken care of. And if you're not doing anything but being essentially just a big child for her to take care of, why the fuck would she want to be with you? So that you guys can have kids and then she has 2-3 kids and you to take care of? Fuck that, no. I wouldn't want to do that, so why would she? You wouldn't want to do that, so why would she? Would you want to be with someone like that? No. If you're taking care of the household and nurturing and loving and providing all this happiness and love in the household, why would you also have to turn around and make all the decisions, be the head of the household? Why? That makes no sense. You have a part to play in this world, and whether you like it or not, you need to do it. You need to be on your shit. Always. The men that are successful with women either portray masculinity or are masculine. And the ones that portray masculinity but aren't masculine, or are losers but they portray masculinity, the reason why they succeed with women in the short term is because they portray that masculinity. And then eventually the woman figures out, oh, this isn't a masculine man, this is a bum, this is a loser, and just has sex with him because she got tricked. Which, it is what it is. That there's guys like that, and then there's guys like you who are actually going to be on your shit and actually going to get better and learn how to become the man that every woman wants. Not just fronting for a couple months and then falling back into your feminine. Because you're a man, you shouldn't be in your feminine. And this whole women following men, this is historically how things worked. And that's why the conquerors of the world, that's why they had their choice of women, because they were providers and protectors and their genes were strong and they wanted to procreate with, the women wanted to procreate with these men because their genes were strong and they were leaders. So you need to become the 2023 version of that. In our society now, men are so effeminate, men are so wishy-washy, and you can't be that. Just because women tell you to be more emotional, that doesn't mean that's what they want. Yeah, you can be emotional, you can have emotion, but you can't be a full-fledged woman. Women are emotional, and rightfully so. That is their place. They are emotion. You are logic. So in our society today, men just kind of bend to a woman's wants and needs. Whatever they say goes, and that's not how anyone wants things to be. And that's why the divorce rate's fucking crazy. Because men don't know how to be men. So then the woman has to take the role of a man, and how long do they want to do that before they're like, hold on, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't who I'm supposed to be. And they find it somewhere else. So why don't you avoid all of that and become the man that she wants? Become the man that every woman wants. Because without that, you're just going to be bouncing from relationship to relationship to relationship, because all that you can provide is a 3-month front followed by a feminine child that she has to take care of. Why would she want that? Now, in history, this has always been a thing, where the man is the head of the household and the woman is the submissive follower, whatever. Even in the Bible, I have a verse here from the Bible in Ephesians 5:21 through 33. Submitting to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and is himself its Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit everything to their husbands. Husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. So, even in the Bible, even way back when the Bible was written, this has been the dynamic. So, nothing has changed aside from our society's view of how things should be, equality, whatever. Yeah, women can go out and get a job. Yeah, women can go out and open a business. Women can make a shit ton of money. Women can do all of those things. But at the end of the day, there is not a woman on this planet who will sit here and genuinely say, I want a man who submits to me. I want to be the head of the household while my man sits at home in an apron and cooks and cleans and takes care of the children. There's not one. There is not one. You can ask any woman in the world, there's not one who says that. Because as a man, you have a duty. As a woman, you have a duty. And those two things are static. They are what they are, and they do not change. So in order to be the best version of yourself, get in the gym. Get on your shit. Work hard. Make money. Make progress. Become the man that God intended you to become. Become the man that can lead a household. Become the man that can protect and provide for not only yourself, but your woman and your children and your family. And when you become that, then you can become the man that doesn't get his heart broken anymore. You can become the man that doesn't get cheated on anymore. But until that day, you'll always be insecure that you're going to get cheated on. You're always going to be insecure that she'll find better. But you need to make it so she can't find better. You're the best option, and you always will be, because you're on your shit. Until then, you're going to be in the same vicious cycle that you're in right now. So why don't you avoid that? Get on your shit and stay on your shit. Focus on your progress. And then when you're finally at the point when you are providing and you're able to protect, then you find the woman that you want. You find the woman that you need, because you do need a woman in your life. You do need that other half. You need femininity in order to live a full life. You need that partner. So get yourself right so that you can find the right woman for you. And until then, unfortunately, you will be stuck in this vicious cycle. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.